Okay, so now that we know how to find the degree of our polynomials and we know what the names of our polynomials are, we're going to learn how to name these polynomials by their degree. Okay, so this one's a little more difficult for me to show on the board, so I'm going to put our chart over here, and we're going to reference this chart when we find the degrees when we're trying to name them. Okay, you do need to memorize this chart though. That's super important. This lesson is going to be mostly memorization. But luckily we already know 4 terms. We know monomial, binomial, trinomial, and polynomial. Okay, and now we're going to learn how to name these by the degree. All right, so let's look at a monomial. So we're going to have 9n. 9n. This is a monomial because it's one term. So that makes it, a monomial. But now we need to look for the degree. And what do we need to look for when we're finding the degree? We need to look for the exponents. Now here we don't have a visible exponent, but remember when we don't have a visible exponent, we know that there's going to be an invisible 1. So this is going to be like saying n or 9n to the first power. Now this is our only exponent. This is the only one we have. So our degree is going to be 1. Degree equals 1. Now, if we look at our chart, we see that when we have 1 degree, it's going to be linear. So this is going to be a linear monomial. So this is going to be the name of this, a linear monomial. All right, now let's look at a polynomial. A polynomial is when we have multiple terms. Specifically, we're going to look at a trinomial. So trinomial, we're going to do the 9 and 1 again. Oops. We don't need the 1. We know that there's going to be a 1. So we're going to have the 9n plus 11 zm minus 3 x y z. Okay, so what is this? How many terms do we have? First of all, we need to look at the terms. We have 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms. When we have 3 terms, that's a trinomial. Remember, we have 3 terms. Tri means 3. We have 3 terms. Trinomial. All right, and now we need to look for the degrees. To look for the degrees, we need the exponents of each term. So we have 3 terms. That means we're going to find 3 degrees of each term, or 1 degree of each term, but 3 altogether. So in 1, we already saw this one. We know that the degree is 1. Now we have 11 zm. Looking at exponents of variables, we have 2 variables but no visible exponents. When there are no visible exponents, we know that there's an invisible 1. So 1, 1, 2 variables with exponents of 1, 2 degrees, and negative 3 xyz. 3 variables, all with invisible 1s. 1, 1, 1. Add them together. You get 3. Now, remember when we have a trinomial or a binomial, any polynomial with more than 1 term, we only need 1 degree. And that 1 degree is going to be the biggest degree of all 3 terms. So we have degrees of all of our terms, for all of our terms, 1, 2, 3, but we need the biggest. And the biggest is going to be 3. So this 3 is going to be the degree of the whole trinomial. And we look at our chart, and if we have a degree of 3, it's going to be a cubic. So this is going to be a cubic trinomial. Cubic trinomial. And that's it. It's pretty simple. You just need to know how to find your degrees of your polynomials. That's it, really. And then you need to memorize.